Hi, everyone. It's Henry DeVries with Agency Rainmaker TV. This is the TV show where we help small to mid-size advertising, PR, marketing, digital marketing agencies make it rain. And by that, we mean find right fit clients. And nobody needs the clients from heck. We all have a bunch of those. We need these right fit clients that when they call, you're happy to take their phone call, even if it's on the weekend. You'd love to talk to these people. Those are the kind we're looking for. So that doesn't happen by accident. You need a plan. And I'm so happy to have one of the, I would call a thought leader in this field and somebody who's known for her generosity, who even coined a phrase about it. I'll let her say it if she so chooses to. Uh, Susan Baier. Susan, how are you today?
I'm great, Henry. Thanks for having me on. It's great to see you.
Well, it's an honor to have you on. Why don't you tell them the name of your business and then tell them what you do for people?
Sure. So I have a market research agency called Audience Audit, and we focus on helping experts demonstrate their thought leadership to the audiences that they want to sell to.
So you are an expert on research, and
Mhm.
that's one of the reasons I fell in like with you immediately because I've written 20 books on business development, and I found the secret weapon, and it's research. And if what you know cannot be measured, your knowledge is of a meager and unsatisfactory kind. That's a quote from Lord Kelvin.
Yep.
So, what are the numbers? What are the data? What data? In God we trust, all others must bring data, said
Mhm.
the father, Deming, the father of quality. So, let's go into it here. It was a tough year. 2025,
Yeah.
good wins to bad rubbish. It was not a great year. There was a lot of chaos in the economy. There was a lot of uncertainty. A lot of people had people in the pipeline. They just couldn't get them to the end of the pipeline.
Yep.
So let's say goodbye and let's say hello to 2026. And what are we going to do to find right fit clients with research? So let's talk about three ideas people can use in this year. Tell
Sure.
me about doing something speedy, doing something fast.
Yeah, well, I think it's important that people realize that we're in an environment of distrust now. We used to, we can assume that people are going to trust us. We can't assume that anymore. Pew Research found in 2025 that 59% of buyers assume that business leaders like us are trying to mislead them or lie to them for their money. So we have a lot of trust to gain, and if we don't gain it, they'll never reach out to us. And research data plays a unique role in building trust. It's something independent. It's something that shows you've invested in learning about an audience and you're trying to help them. And that's super powerful. So, however you do it, we'll talk about a few different ways to do it, but you need to get some data that shows you care and are listening and that you have helpful advice to share with people before they ever contact you, before you get a credit card number or they sign a contract. It's absolutely essential today. So the first one I recommend is just you can hire somebody to get some research done. We have a program that within about 3 months, you have custom research that's all your own. And there's lots of ways to get this done, but you don't need to spend a year and a half to get research done. I mean, we're going to talk about a few ways, but get it done and get it done quickly. And then you can use it to start showing what you know and what you advise. And that's really builds trust with prospects, even if you don't know they're reading you.
Now, a number two idea that I really liked, and I've heard from other sources, is creating an assessment, being
Yes.
generous in doing an assessment. Tell me more about that.
So, an assessment is basically, we've all taken them, right? One of these self administered quizzes that tells you something about yourself. It gives you something valuable. And if you build one right, it can really create a lot of affinity between an audience and you. The wrong way to do it is to build an assessment, require people to tell you everything, including their household income or their business marketing budget, before they answer it, and then keep all the data to yourself so it doesn't give them anything. You don't want to do that. So, what we recommend is building an assessment on your site that asks about things that you teach about that are relevant to the work that you do. Make the assessment anonymous, right? They don't have to provide any information. and have it give them feedback immediately, preferably. Our assessments, you'll finish a section and it'll pop up your score and it'll provide feedback based on that score and advice. So you want immediate gratification if you can get it. And then at the end of the assessment, you can say, hey, would you like to sign up for our newsletter? Or hey, is it okay if we send you some more information, and invite people to provide their email address if they want that information, but don't require it. So it lets people know that you've got something interesting to say, that you have helpful advice, and you're not being pushy about it. And it can give you great data as a business owner about sort of who's interested in you. And you can learn a lot about your audience from the information they provide.
So that way you said how not to do it. I call that badvertising. I had a
Yes.
badvertising experience yesterday with, would you like an estate planning guide? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what's your job title? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got to family income.
Right.
Why so little? Couldn't you make more? I don't know. It
Yeah.
wasn't that bad, but it was close.
Well,
And
and I see a
then
lot of
and then at
assess.
the end, I get a link to go to somewhere
Right.
that, but they have to send it to me by text. So now I've got to give them my
Right.
cell phone number.
Yep. And
I
I
know
see a
the
lot
phone
of us.
calls have come in today.
Right.
Like,
I see a lot of assessments that basically are like, thanks for all this. Here's a link, set up a meeting and we'll take you through your results. No, no, no. No, 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 no. You have to give them something for nothing. You really, really do.
so show me the numbers. What about this thing of pulse polls? What are
Yeah.
pulse polls?
I like pulse polls. So you don't have to do a big survey all at once. You can do a little 3 or 4 questions about a specific topic once a month, right? And then share what you found and comment on it. What I tell our clients is that um, being relentlessly helpful with research is about 3 different things. Only one of them is actually the data, the research you find. People love data. It's interesting, but they actually don't want just the data. They want the other 2 parts. Second part is your perspective on what you found based on your experience. Is this surprise you? Is this what you always see? And then the third piece is the silver bullet, which is your advice based on that research for free without asking for anything. For people like this, I tell my clients, they're in this situation, here's my top 3 things that I would do first. Or, here's the first 5 steps to overcoming this challenge. Just provide it freely and don't ask anything for it. So you can literally set up a content cycle where every month you have one of these little quizzes, and then you're talking about the data that you found, you're sharing it, you're sharing your perspective. Maybe you bring in a colleague who has a really good, helpful perspective on this kind of thing, and there's your helpful content for the month. And you're never asking for anything, but it builds tremendous trust so that people will reach to you when they've decided, I actually do want some help from this. And they say, this person seems like they know what they're talking about, and they sure have been generous.
When I was a corporate marketing VP, one with a budget,
Mm-hmm.
people wanted to meet me all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I did these pulse polls all the time. I'd ask like 2 questions,
Yep.
and then we would do news releases and studies and reports. And it doesn't need a lot of data, but we also used it with what I call hamburger helper. We
Yeah.
used internal data that we analyzed
Sure.
or public record data. One of my favorites was we did for real estate sales, and it was a title company. And we compared this month's home sales to last year's this month's
Right.
home sales. And you
Yep.
know what? There was 3 stories we put out. One, home sales are up. Two,
Mm-hmm.
home sales are down. Three, home sales are the same.
People worry a lot that they aren't going to have anything new. They don't have anything new. It's great if you have data that's completely new, right? But it's not required, because what's always going to be new is your perspective and your experience and your advice. That's going to be unique to you. So even if you're working with existing data, like you said, you could see a report, a new research report that's put out by Pew or something like that, and you can talk about what they found that was interesting and your perspective and your advice on that, and that's new. And if it's helpful to your audience, they'll appreciate it.
Yep. Yep.
Yep.
It's helpful to your audience, by the way. They'll find you even if your office is located in a building underneath a river.
Yeah, they
They'll find
will.
you. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's
So
hard to find people we trust these days, and that builds trust. You'll stand out.
there you go.
Yep.
Susan, thanks so much for being on. Always look forward to your visits and writing about you. You've got a beautiful brain, and you're
Oh,
not afraid to use it.
thank you, Henry.
Oh,
I
okay.
appreciate you. It's great to see you too, friend.
Okay. Until next time, everybody, make it rain.